Well, hey everybody, another video. This time it's a big one for me. I have finally crossed 500 subscribers. I'm currently at 525 actually, so I want to thank everyone for checking this video out. And finally, I've had time to make it. I'm back from Kansas City. I had a really great time seeing some concerts that some bands I really like, some metal bands. But anyway, that's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about your questions, the viewers. I actually have several places that I ask these questions at. A lot of it on YouTube, and also some of it on Facebook myself, on my movie review Facebook page, something like that. I don't know. Anyway, so check that out if you haven't or not. You should also check out my Nathan Jones Facebook page if you haven't. I don't think I've ever really talked about it on the video, but it's there. It's somewhere. It exists. Alright, so I'm going to get into your questions. I want to just give a special shout out to all these people who have commented on my videos before, and also just all the people who've interacted with me in the past. I wanted to say thank you very much for all of that. I really appreciate your support. So, I have my glasses on, so that means I'm going to be reading to you a little bit. So I have a couple questions, right? Alright, so the first question is from KB Bynum, and they ask, what's your top 3 favorite comic book movies? So I thought a little bit about this. The first thing that comes to my mind, I'm going to go from like just descending order, from like 3 to 1. My third favorite comic book movie is probably V for Vendetta. I really love that comic book, and I really love the adaptation. It's very different adaptations from each other, but I think it was handled really well. I love Hugo Weaving as V, and I think Natalie Portman did a really great job in that movie. And that movie is just iconic with the Guy Fawkes mask. Really like that 1984 vibe it has. Just the futuristic, but it's also kind of reminiscent of what today's political climate is like. And so it's really strange. I really love that movie. That's my third favorite. My second favorite would actually be Logan. I really loved that movie. I am waiting to watch it again soon. I'm thinking of a right time to watch it. I have not seen the noir version. I really want to see that movie, but that trailer is iconic. I love that movie. It's purposeful for why it was rated R, and I really loved all the stuff that Hugh Jackman has brought to the character throughout the entire years since 2000 with X-Men. I've loved his performance, and Logan was out with a bang, and I really love that movie. So my number 1 comic book movie was Watchmen. I really love, this is actually the best thing I think Zack Snyder's ever touched, and I really love, one, again, the book, Alan Moore, once again with V for Vendetta as well. He wrote a really great, fantastic graphic novel, but I really love the adaptation. Years and years ago, I remember watching it, and I remember watching the trailer, and that Smashing Pumpkins songs is in that trailer, and this is the end of the world or something. I don't remember what the title is. It's only Smashing Pumpkins on my freaking iPod at the time. I remember that. But I thought that Watchmen film looked really interesting. I wanted to watch it. I watched The Watchmen, and I loved the gritty and dark nature of it, and it actually felt like a comic book. Like the movie actually felt like a comic book itself. And then obviously it came out on home video release form, and the extended edition has just added a lot more to it, a lot of the questions that I had from those little in-between moments. But I think the ending of the comic book versus the ending of the movie are very different, but also the same time accomplish the same goal. And I really love that about that adaptation. I really love that movie. I think it's probably my favorite comic book movie of all time, and I think it's criminally underrated. I think people talk about it, and I'm really excited to see what HBO does. I think that's the company that got a miniseries is going to occur very shortly, but we'll see how that goes. I love that movie. Watchmen is my choice. So thank you, KB. Alright, so next is 5-star, and I'm actually going to look up his question on YouTube because it was a long one. And so I remember him asking about posthumanism and also transhumanism, so that ideology of after humanism, which is, I don't want to hear that voice ever again. It's my own voice coming up here. Alright, now that I have it in front of me, 5-star asks, are you now or ever been anti-humanist, post-humanist, or transhumanist, more human than humanist? So what that all means is transhumanism, along with posthumanism, that is using a lot of the technology adapting it for humanity's purpose and going beyond what it means to be currently what we are as humans. I might be butchering that, but that's what the vibe I'm getting, and I have looked into it a little bit. I'm not particularly that interested in a lot of AI and technological advances that extends our life periods and things like that. I actually come at it from an angle of I'm actually really content with the way life is. I'm really happy for the medicine and the technologies that we are increasingly adding to the benefit of humanity. I really love that, but I think there's to a point to where, you know, we can go too far. Obviously, you've seen a lot of science fiction films where, you know, we have AI or something go too far, right? And we've seen this decades after decades after decades, even with like a lot of horror films as well. Does science gone too far, like Frankenstein's monster? You see this all the time. And so I have that general fear, and I think society has a general anxiety about things like that, and I agree with it. And so I've never really been much of any of that. But there's other questions 5-star asks connected to that. Favorite film about transhumans? It says like mineral man equals cyborg, animal man, chimeras, yada yada yada. My favorite film probably about things like that would probably be Blade Runner 2049. I really loved the original Blade Runner and what it has done to the landscape of sci-fi films, and a lot of the tonal aspects for a lot of the things that have come out and since it. But I really love the sequel, Blade Runner 2049. That movie just captured it. Denis Villeneuve captured what Ridley Scott's universe, you know, built, and it just expanded upon it without really making it a sequel. It was his own story, and Ryan Gosling and Harrison Ford just brought such great chemistry together, and like just such a great story to this film. I absolutely loved this movie. I think that Blade Runner 2049 is possibly, that and Call Me by Your Name, my favorite movies of last year. I think those movies are they just stand above a lot of the other ones. I think they're gonna, 20 years from now, I think people are gonna talk about Blade Runner 2049 like they're talking about Blade Runner right now. And so, as long as they don't touch it again, because I think the ending of Blade Runner 2049 is almost near damn perfect, just like the original Blade Runner is. Very different types of endings, but both hopeful. And so I think it's really interesting. So I think that's probably why Blade Runner 2049 is my favorite film for transhumans. Anyway, chimeras. I'm gonna do a little Full Metal Alchemist shout out there. He also asks, favorite film about AI? My favorite film about AI is probably Ex Machina. I like Alex Garland's take on how AI could possibly actually be modernized, and it almost is set in reality. Just in like Silicon Valley, I know that like Oscar Isaac plays his character Nathan. Domhnall Gleeson comes because he's just like, you know, he's in the tech industry, and Oscar Isaac kind of notices him for being so brilliant, and gets him over to, you know, to his like laboratory slash like, you know, kind of place that he lives out in the woods that is like really sheltered, but also is like a lab for Oscar Isaac's character. And it's just really interesting how that all kind of just unfolds and goes really, really insane. Really, with Alicia Vikander, she plays this robot in this movie, this AI, this intelligent life form, and I think that is a really great film, and I really loved Annihilation. So I think Alex Garland is a brilliant writer. 28 Days Later is great, and Sunshine, and all yada yada yada. And then last question, he asks his favorite real AI robot. That's like Philip, or Tay, Sophia, or Bina 48. You know, I'm not really too familiar with AI robots in real life. I know there was that one that gained citizenship in Saudi Arabia, I think. I don't know much about it, so that's all I can say about it, 5-star. Thank you so much for asking those questions, though. And so now we're going to move on to Movie Chatter, who is a great friend of mine, Steph. Thank you so much for checking this video out, and also asking these questions all the time. The first question she asks was, there was 2 different videos where she posed questions. First one she asked was, have I ever seen Persona? Which is actually right behind me somewhere, right here, yeah. Persona is a great film by Ingmar Bergman. I can't wait to replace this one. I might as well keep this, but I'm going to get the Ingmar Bergman set coming out in November. I really love this movie. I need to rewatch it to get my full thoughts on it. I actually think I love the dichotomy of the two women in this movie and just how it unfolds. And I'm not going to get into it because I want people to kind of experience it themselves. You have like a near mute woman and someone taking care of another person during an event that occurs. Yeah, and so it's just the way it's shot and the way it's told is really unique and really worth your time. So yes, I have seen Persona, Steph, and I really like it a lot. I would like to talk about it more, maybe sometime soon. And then the second question Movie Chatter asks is, what made you decide to start a YouTube channel? And then what goals do you have for your channel? So what made me decide to start a YouTube channel? The easy answer is I love film, obviously, and that's why we're here today. I really love talking about movies with my friends and family. And usually my friends always kind of just ask my opinion about things because they know I binge things like this, and they know and trust my opinion on whether or not it's worth their time. And I find that really respectful and humbling, honestly. And so that is why I started that. And one of the reasons I started the YouTube channel is also because I was in a kind of a dark spot at the time in my life. I had some negativity coming, and maybe my thought process was to be creative. I wanted to be more creative with my negativity and not dwell on it and do something fun and exciting for myself, and to take it apart as an addition to what I normally do, but as also as an escapist form. So I really enjoy this process. So those are the real reasons I started a YouTube channel. One, love movies. Two, I was kind of in a tight spot, and so I just continue to create with this, and I really love this, and I love this community as well. I'm starting to get more involved with that. I've always had a hard time dealing with community. I'm not really great because I spread myself so thin. I have multiple jobs. So anyway, the second part of the question is, what goals do I have for my channel? My goals for my channel initially started out as kind of just a fun thing that I was doing, and my friends were watching it, and whoever else was chiming in. I just wanted to do it for fun, right? And then kind of a couple months into it, I kind of got business oriented. I was like, I want to get paid by YouTube. I really want to get paid. And so, but that's also during the apocalypse era is when I started this whole thing. And so it started getting really chaotic and hectic. And so I really didn't have the funds or ideas to think about this all the way through. I kind of had some slumps here and there, and also some high points, exciting times, exciting videos as well, that mirrored my life going on. This is really strange. It's really interesting to see videos from my past at different times in my life, and I look back at it at either positive or negatively, and just see, I remember how I was feeling then, which is really strange. But overall, I'm really happy with the direction the channel is going. I'm not technically going really for monetization. I mean, that would be nice if I think it's like 1,000 subscribers. I don't know all the details. And just, I'm just doing this for me, on top of doing this for you. I really love the audience I've built, and I like this small audience and the connectivity I can with people commenting down below. I really love that. It's manageable for me because I have lots of things going on in my real life. Not to say this isn't my real life or my job, but this is just a fun thing that I love doing. And so I want to continue it to be fun, but if I ever get money, I'm not going to complain. So thank you so much for that. Steph, yeah, thank you for asking that question, and I hope you check this out soon. Anyway, now I'm going to go to Facebook, which is on my phone, which I have some questions from my friends mostly. Alright, so Hannah, who's actually my roommate and also the owner of the house, she asked quite a few things. First one being, what are my top 3 movies I'm looking forward to next year? So I haven't really looked too much into movies of next year. I know that the trailer for Pet Sematary just hit. That's going to come out next year, so I guess that's one that I have on the horizon. I might as well just do a Google search since I'm right here, and I'm still talking to all of you. But 2019, blah blah blah. Well, I guess I'm excited for Infinity War Part 2. That's definitely for sure. Something that I thought Marvel would never get to. It's insane how great Infinity War was and how built up it was, and and you can still watch it without any of the knowledge of understanding all the past characters. Although I think you'll cheat yourself a little bit on that. So that's one movie that I'm looking forward to. I'm looking also forward, just going through here. I guess, yeah, the next one, I'll say the last one, is The Lion King. I'm really looking forward to that movie. And also Aladdin. I suppose that's more accurate because Aladdin's coming out soon. I just saw the teaser trailer. I don't know if that's this year or next year. Those are the movies. So Hannah, that's the first question. I really didn't prep for that one, did I? Second question she asked, is there a TV show coming out, Netflix, Prime, Hulu this year or next year that you're excited for? Not necessarily this. I'm really behind on a lot of TV shows. It's insane. I'm behind on almost all of the Marvel shows on Netflix except for Daredevil. I think I've seen the first season. I also really want to see Altered State. I know that Amy Adams' HBO show that just happened. I also really want to see, why can't I think of all of the episodic things? It's literally blame. I want to see Mr. Robot. I also want to see, it's a Netflix show. I have to figure this out. Of course, I'm doing this on camera. I still need to see Ozark. I still need to see Black Mirror. I haven't seen any Black Mirror. Isn't that crazy? So yeah, there's a lot of things going out right now, and I want to see, and I'm excited for, but I just haven't had the time to check it out because I mostly check out film, as you notice. So honestly, don't really know what's going on. So there is that. My third question from Hannah is, have you ever read any good books lately? Actually, yes. I was on vacation about 2 months ago, and I read Call Me by Your Name book, the film, or the actual book. It's not over here. I'll be right back. I'm gonna get it. All right, I am back. The books that I was talking about is I read Call Me by Your Name by Andre Ackman. I'm really looking forward to the sequel to this book, I guess movie, that Luca and Timothy and why can't I think of your name right there, Army? They're all going to be talking about. So I read that. It's a great book. I actually really loved the book, and I thought it was extra charming and really amazing. So, and the other book is a kind of a classic, and this is Cormac McCarthy's Blood Meridian. This book is dark and it's gritty as hell. I loved it, and I thought this is a good book to understand kind of like a dark West. And I really like that kind of stuff. So anyway, so those are some books I read. So thank you, Hannah, for those questions. Okay, next is a question from my friend Ben, who asked, what best concert films have I seen / experienced? Best concert films, something that I'm thinking of, I really love the band Opeth, and I love Porcupine Tree. So I like some progressive rock and metal, as you can tell. I think those are some of the better quality concert Blu-rays and DVDs that I've watched. I'm looking over there at the corner because that's where they're all over there, all the ones that I own. The best concerts I've ever been to, to list a couple off the top of my head, I really enjoyed seeing Meshuggah. I've seen them twice now. I think that's an incredible metal band, way beyond a lot of the other artists that I've seen. Just super technical. Everyone is headbanging to a different part of that. I really love that. I've seen Opeth and Catatonia together. I really love both those bands. Recently, I was just in Kansas City, right? And so I just saw Paradise Lost, Atlas Moth, and Solstafir. That was an amazing show that I saw. That was one of the shows I went to. I thought that was an incredible experience, and I was able to talk to the guys in Atlas Moth, and that's a little-known band from Chicago that I like. If you're into metal, talk about it. The kind of metal stuff that I listen to mostly is progressive rock and progressive metal. I love grindcore. I love death metal. I love black metal. I love some metalcore, and I mean very few bands, like mostly Converge, and like some deathcore, because that's just something like guilty pleasure, like Fit for an Autopsy. Have I lost any of you? I listen to metal mostly. I also listen to some indie rock like Angel Olsen. Listen to Woods, Tame Impala, so some psychedelic influenced bands, I suppose. I also love classic rock, Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin, let's see other genres. Lately I've listened to Casey Musgraves, that's in the country realm. I really loved her latest album, Trip Hop, so like Massive Attack and Portishead. Listened to a lot of hip hop, mostly East Coast stuff like Wu-Tang Clan, Czarface, MF Doom, Run the Jewels, things like that. And so I listen to things all over the map. I also listen to like Roy Orbison, John Coltrane, Miles Davis, then like classical music is from Bach to Stravinsky. So I'm all honestly all over the place. So that's my metal stuff and my other music I listen to. Okay, last few questions. My friend Andrew asks, do I have MoviePass? No, I don't have MoviePass, and actually I have been meaning to talk about MoviePass. I am not huge on it. I know that it went through a lot of roller coasters lately with rebranding, and obviously they logistically, you know, they couldn't do all the things that they promised, and I think it's a great idea. I think it's got put more butts into theaters, and I love that. But personally, I'm weird. I like paying for my movies and like paying directly to the places I go, like Alamo Drafthouse or the local Moxie Theater here in Springfield. I really love paying them. And so, I don't know, I just like helping the local economy, I suppose. I mean, I do it with these movies, even though a lot of this stuff is from Amazon. Sorry. There's not really movie stores around anymore. But that being said, yeah, MoviePass, I never really got on board with. A lot of people did. Some people still have it. It's fine. I'm glad it exists. But yeah. Next, my friend Jeff asks if I'm Carnival personnel. That's a little jerk quote there. I am not Carnival personnel, and I cannot go past that, and I love that movie. Go watch The Jerk if you haven't seen it with Steve Martin. Andrew asks, one last thing, which movies, in your opinion, are the most known for a pivotal day or night scene? I haven't really thought. And also, also in defense of or against day for night scene as a state-of-art film technology at the time. I haven't really thought of that. One thing that comes to my mind about day and night, there's a lot of good picks for that. I'm looking over in the corner of my eye. Gone Girl is a good example of a film where the day and night makes it really, really pretty, and you can figure out stuff, but I'm trying to think of things where it's like the things happening in midday. I guess a recent example is like Baby Driver's opening sequence is really amazing, and it's in the broad daylight, and it was pivotal to what they did. That's a tough one. I have to think about it a little bit more. But anyway, I want to say thank you so much for checking out my 500 Q&A video that I've done for this. Hopefully I didn't get too in-depth or I didn't bore any of you. Thank you so much for checking this video out. Comment below. Give me some more questions. Maybe for when I hit 600 I might do that. I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear your thoughts on the questions I have. If you have any more, I'll try to answer them in the comment section below or in another video sometime soon. Maybe part 2. I have no idea. Thank you so much again for checking this video out. Don't forget to like this video. Comment down below with your questions. Share this video as well. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. And also subscribe, and I'll see you next time. I'm not jonesing around.